My name is Jennifer Hayes. I'm a Senior Vice President with Fidelity Investments. I have a few different roles at the company. The first one is the cloud migration, along with the FinOps practice, and also an organization called Engineering Excellence. We started our FinOps adoption journey in 2018, and so we are about 5 years into a maturity standpoint, and I would say we are definitely into the walk phase, maybe a little bit into the run phase of our FinOps journey. The adoption phase was really, it first started with trying to tell everyone what the real benefits was of the FinOps and really get an investment into the practice as a whole. And so it was talking to our finance organization, talking to our engineering organizations, and really trying to figure out how do you start this up and then what processes are actually impacted by not only cloud migration, but also cloud optimization costs. So there was a lot of on the ground work, really trying to get people to understand the benefits of it, and then a lot of just conversations. Now as we're more mature within our practice itself, we've gone to automation of a lot of tasks and activities. Instead of having discussions and decision standpoints, we have practices and processes that do things like when we purchase additional reserved instances or compute capacity. So we've really transitioned from it being ad hoc and having to think out every step to really having a fairly defined process and a lot of things automated. We knew that every dollar that we spent on people and resources within FinOps would probably pay itself back 5 to 10-fold, and I think that is a realistic expectation for especially large companies, that the benefit of it far outweighs the resources that you're going to be placing into the practice. We were probably one of the first organizations to really implement a hub and spoke model. And for large enterprises, I think it's probably the ideal type of implementation, because large enterprises tend to have several business units or organizations that actually have a lot of decision authority amongst themselves. And so what we really looked at for a hub and spoke model is that we had a core group of people who did things that were repetitive in nature, or that could be done on the benefit of the entire enterprise, but then allowed each of the business units, in fact, we enabled each of the business units to have their own FinOps practice, one that participated in the hub model, but our business units get to make unique decisions about all of the different cloud providers that we use, the different services that we use. And so it isn't a one size fits all, even for inside of an enterprise itself. And so the hub and spoke model really allowed us to tackle what was important to the enterprise as a whole, but also allow each of those different business units to focus on the things that were going to be much more cost optimization, cost effective for their own business unit. So we've been doing this for 5 years now, and there have been a lot of, I would just say, maturity in our processes and expansion in what we're able to cover. One of the first things that you're going to deal with FinOps is like, where do you start? Because there is so much opportunity for you to control cost or to understand your cost, create things like KPIs, that it's somewhat overwhelming for companies. I would say just start, first of all. So we started, and then we continually expand. So we started with one cloud service provider, and we expanded with another cloud service provider. We started understanding our cost at one level, and then really working on optimization of that cost. And then we started to expand in things like optimization of workload and resources and automation and hygiene activities. And so it's been a step process for us from maturity, but also from the scale of what we're actually able to achieve. My advice for an executive or a company considering a FinOps practice is probably to be what we told our executives when we pitched the idea of a FinOps practice. And that is, just make a decision, just move forward, right? Every day that you don't have this practice in place, you're spending more money than you need to be spending. Every single day. So every day you decide to push that decision down the line, you're spending money that you don't need to do. So one is just go for it. You're going to make your money back for anything that you put in there for what you're going to achieve. And then don't be overwhelmed by all the possibilities. Start with a place and then make those movements, and you'll find that success, and then you'll build upon that success over time.
Check out more stories from FinOps leaders making a difference in the industry. Thanks for your support.